everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. This is episode number 86. And just as like a heads up to everyone, this entire episode is going to be about CODNext and CODNext only. We're dedicating a whole episode to it. So if we run out of stuff to talk about from CODNext, we run out of stuff to talk about on the pod today. So
that'll just be it.
Yeah. So it happened today. It happened today earlier. That's why we moved the podcast to later.
Yeah, they stole our podcast slot.
Yeah, they did. Like on the dot. Like they're like, "Oh, we're going to start at 12 p.m. EST," and we're like, that's when we do it. So, we just did reaction streams instead. I did mine over on the Scorpion Syndicate channel, and Deception did his on his. But enough about that. We're gonna go and get right into like just Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So there are a lot of creators at the event today. I think it was like 260, if I'm right off the top of my head, which I might not be.
I don't remember if they said an actual number, but it was over 200.
Yeah. Here. Let me go to the beginning of the day on just the Call of Duty timeline. Here. We're just gonna go
they
through.
Had like 150 of them in the museum, and then they had like a different area that like had more.
Yeah. So this was what, 7 hours ago. We just posted a lot of things today. We're just gonna run through the Call of Duty Twitter, honestly, because it has all the information, pretty much. Retweeted or tweeted, you know.
Yeah, them and Treyarch were posting all kinds of stuff about the game,
and they like Call of Duty retweeted
all the news.
So we're just gonna go right through their Twitter feed. Keep you guys as in the loop as possible. Let me just make this so it fills up the screen properly. So today was Call of Duty. There was rewards. So if you guys watch live, you guys got your rewards. They had this sick new inspired track called Detonator by Killer Mike.
Fantastic. I love Killer Mike.
So, and like this video freaking was amazing. I'm not gonna play the sound of it just because I don't want this to get copyrighted, but we're not gonna play any sound today from the game.
It was dope though.
But this was sick. I highly recommend watching it yourself with the audio. It's a good song. So 10 out of 10 recommend that song. A great way to start off the event. So, I mean, they come in, you know, talking about the Omni movement. This is the big thing from this game. This is like the main highlight, I guess. The newest thing coming.
Yeah.
One of the only like really new things coming to this game is this Omni movement.
I wish I had $1 for every time they said the word Omni movement.
Yeah, literally, we'd be millionaires. We wouldn't need to do this podcast. Actually, we don't make any money off the podcast, but that's not the point. We do it for fun. But so starting Friday, like Thursday night, depending on your time zone, you'll be able to test this out for yourself. So we saw a lot of it in action today, and honestly, I was a little skeptical at first when they first announced Omni Movement, but after seeing it in action and how quickly a lot of the players adjusted, I think this will be a really good change to Call of Duty and give it a little bit more, just give it a little bit of a change, you know, so it's not the same thing coming every year, copy paste type deal.
If it's good, like if it's really good, I just hope and pray that this is the way the movement is in like every other game, because I feel like, and I heard like some of the pros talking about this, and they even talked about it when they were talking to Nameless and stuff, and he was like, if Omni Movement is really good in the way that it feels, like I don't know how we're gonna play any other game, Like,
No.
because he was talking about how pros like usually play other games in the off season to get ready for the next game or whatever. Like they probably play. They've been playing like some people have been playing Cold War to get ready for this game and all that. And it's like with the Omni movement, like
There is no
there's like no
game.
way you could prepare for another game.
No, because this, I mean, we were
It's
talking
like you
about
go
it.
back to other games and you're like, whoa, this does not feel right.
No, like we were talking about it earlier on the stream, but from the looks of it, like the movement's it's gonna be a very heavy movement game as far as like how well you perform. So
This is
people,
probably the most movement based COD that's ever come out.
yeah, so people
Like I
like,
would even say it's almost more important movement wise than the jetpack games.
yeah. And I mean, honestly, like I hope this does well. You know, this movement does well because like with jetpacks, it was either you loved it or you hated it.
Yeah.
But there is a way to play this game without the Omni movement. It just makes you're just better with it. Like with
Yeah.
jetpacks games, you would have to use the jetpacks to get around certain areas of the map. And if you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to use it.
It is kind of funny though because like they were I was watching Scump react to it. I was watching a video of it after the whole event went down. And he said something interesting. He was like, if we compare the jetpack games to how movement was back then, this is like the jetpack game of all of the new games, like the slide cancel games. This is like this is like the jetpack version of slide canceling.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, like I think if they do if like I feel like if it does well this year and they get a lot of good feedback on it, a lot of positive feedback on it, I think that this is gonna be the new wave of movement in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like I don't
I mean,
see
Treyarch
them
did
going
say
back.
that they built it in engine, so like from now on, if a developing team wants to use Omni movement, it's in the engine.
Yep.
Like,
So I think if it goes well, I think that's what they're gonna keep moving forward. Just because changing movement like that from year to year can get a little discouraging, I guess. Um so if it does well, we'll see it again. If it doesn't do well, this is the last time. Probably the first and last we'll see it. If they don't choose to keep it. But if you guys are
I think it's
unfamiliar,
gonna do well.
if you guys
from
are
what I've seen.
if you guys are unfamiliar with Omni movement, yeah, you can move in any direction. You can pretty much slide, and you can slide in any direction. You can dive in any direction, so you can like dive sideways,
You
like
can
in this clip.
sprint any direction.
You can sprint any
You
direction.
can literally sprint backwards. Like
So it's adding like
it's
a
crazy.
whole new skill level to this game, which I think
Yeah,
will
and
be
you
really
can
cool.
you could do like combos like that. Like I'm sure like you could probably somebody will probably figure out how to like slide cancel backwards.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna see a lot of this, and like, just content wise from people. It's just like how to
The
use
thing
the
that I
Omni
saw the
movement.
most was people like dolphin diving or
Yeah.
slide canceling like to the left and to the right.
Yeah.
Like there'd be somebody like head glitching a table and you just dolphin dive around it.
And from what I've seen, there's also mantling in this game as well. So there's a lot of different movement options, for you to use
Yeah, and
as a player.
they actually have something in the game in the settings that you can choose to use it or not.
Yeah.
It's not mandatory, but they have a thing in the settings to where all of your mantles and slides and omni movement can just be automated.
Yep.
Like you can severely reduce your button presses with all that stuff. Now, is it going to be like good or useful? We don't know because they've had auto mantling and stuff a lot in games, and it's usually not used because of how detrimental it can be in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah. So I mean, this is definitely something that we're gonna see more and more talked about too, especially going into the beta, which they also posted about. So there's gonna be two different beta sessions. There's gonna be one this weekend, August 30th to September 4th, for early access. So if you've pre-ordered the game, you have access to the early access beta.
Or if
This
you have a
weekend.
version of Game Pass,
Or if you have a version of Game Pass, you
Game
also
Pass
have.
users get early access.
So this is kind of like what we're seeing with like like the Microsoft buyout of Activision. These are the kind of benefits that we're seeing. There's not PS4 exclusive anymore, PC exclusive.
Yeah, it's good that like granted it kind of is exclusive a little bit to Game Pass, like early access, but like the thing is it's not like Game Pass users get an extra day like PlayStation did. Like PlayStation would often get like a couple days and then
Or
everybody else could play.
I think like there was a weekend like in like I can't remember. I think it was like Cold War where you got like a whole extra weekend on PlayStation.
No, like the way that it worked before the Microsoft buyout was the first weekend was all PlayStation, but like the first part of the weekend was early access PlayStation, and then the second part of the weekend was open PlayStation, and then everybody got to come in.
Yeah, so
for the open beta.
now it's really just like early access for everybody on every platform if you pre-order the game, and then early access for those that have Game Pass on Xbox.
Yep.
Which
if you have any version of Game Pass, you get early access.
Yeah, so if you have Game Pass on your Xbox, if you have Game Pass on your PC, like you can have early access to this game. So that's really cool, and I like that. I think a lot of people were worried about this specifically when it came to Microsoft buying Activision, because I think a lot of people thought that it was going to switch from PS4 to Xbox again. Yeah. But I'm glad that this is not PS4 but just PlayStation in general, like PlayStation 5. People thought it was going to switch over to Xbox exclusive early access and everything like that, so I'm glad that this is how they did it. I feel like this is the best way they could have done it.
Yeah, there were a lot of concerns initially about like, oh, are we going to have Xbox exclusives again? Like, is Xbox going to go crazy with it? And like the whole time, Phil Spencer was like, we're not doing exclusives. And everybody was like, but wait, like Xbox has done other stuff that's weird. Yep. And now it's like, now you're looking at it and you're like, oh, they're really not doing exclusives.
So I'm really grateful for this. Myself as a PlayStation person, I love my PlayStation, but I also have an Xbox. So like, I mean, it's not my Xbox, it's Chris's Xbox, but we live in a divided household, you know.
Right.
But I like that this is the way that they did it. And then there'll be an open beta September 6th through September 9th. That is, for those of you that are wondering, the 4th ends on Sunday. The 6th through the 9th is Tuesday through Friday. No, I'm looking at the wrong month. I'm looking at August, where this is September. So September 4th ends on a Wednesday.
Long early access weekend. That's that's
Friday
like 5 days, bro.
Yeah. So
we've never had an early access weekend.
3, 4,
5 weekend go that far.
That's 6 days. It's almost a full week of gameplay that you get. And then the second one is the 6th through the 9th. So you get a day break, and then you get 4 more days, essentially. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
So we're getting 10 days of beta, which I think is the most that's ever been offered.
So, you know, we're going to get a lot of, like, gameplay, a lot of just different things, and I'm really excited to see what comes out of this. I mean, we're going to, the point of a beta is, test out bugs, test out the game, make sure everything's working properly. So, I'm excited for this
I have a feeling that this year more than ever the beta version is going to be the closest as possible to the full version of the game. I mean, usually with COD betas, that's how it works. COD betas are usually not technically a true beta. It's basically just a slimmed down version of the retail version of the game that ends up getting released. But I think this is going to be like that more than ever, because Treyarch, as we're about to see with like all the content and stuff they're putting in this game, they've had 4 years of development on this game. They have put in the work, and this game is ready.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm really, I think this is going to be, we're going to see a lot of content. I mean, there's going to be so many different maps to try out. There's going to be, 8 maps in the beta to try out, which I think is like the most ever. So they're giving us a lot of content to enjoy, to kind of hype up when, hype up the game. So, talking about maps, we're gonna, on launch day, there's gonna be 16 multiplayer maps for us to play. We're just gonna kind of like zoom out a little bit so you guys can kind of see this. Sorry guys, this is gonna be a very like clunky-ish kind of vibe, but I just want to make sure that you guys can kind of like see it, and I need to be able to read it on my screen, so just bear with me.
It must be noted these are all new launch maps.
So there are no recycled maps. I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna get some throwback maps throughout the season, but on day one
we're definitely getting Nuketown season 1 or before season 1.
Yeah, so we're definitely getting 16
and you'll
maps.
see why I think that later when we get into the Warzone portion of it.
Yeah. So starting from the top left, going down to the bottom right, we have Protocol, Payback, Skyline, Lowtown, Subsonic, Rewind, Scud, Red Card, Babylon, Derelict, Vorkuta, Vault, Sandhouse, Stakeout, Gala, and Pit. And these are brand new maps, like no like recycled anything. Like these are brand new maps, brand new locations. So I'm very excited to see like what this entails moving forward.
I heard very, very good things about Rewind.
Yeah.
That's one of the maps that I heard the name of that map a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
think people really like that one. And also, like, I haven't really heard a lot about like the opinions of the map, but the Gala map actually looks really sick.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of like it's like the casino-ish map that like everybody was hoping that we would get, and it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're looking for gameplay on these maps, go check out the creators that played at CODNext today. Um, I'm sure all of them will be. I mean, all of them streamed today, and I'm sure they will be posting videos and etc. of them playing on these maps. And then this weekend we have the beta. So if you guys want to see some of these maps in action, you'll be able to see them there. I'm sure we'll cover which ones will be in the beta. Oh, right, literally the next one. So in the beta, we will see Skyline, Rewind, Scud, Babylon, Derelict, Stakeout, Gala, and Pit. So those will be the 8 maps that are in the beta. So if you guys looking to check out some of that gameplay, check it out this weekend when those streamers are streaming. I might be one of those streamers. Who knows? Depends on my schedule. But so this is pretty good. These are some great maps that we saw a lot of gameplay on today. I really like Scud. I like outdoor maps that aren't like blinding, like on XDefiant, like Attica Heights, like you just get blinded by the sun. So
Yeah, they nailed the lighting on these maps. I think.
yeah,
I never saw it anywhere where it looked like the sun was overly glary or like anything was too bright. So I think they've fixed the problem of the last 3 games that have come out before this game, where it feels like sometimes you're just getting blinded when you go outside.
Yeah, so I think the balancing, they definitely probably spent a lot of time working on that, making it better and more player friendly. So you'll be seeing a lot of gameplay from that this weekend if this is something that ready. So there's a new mode that they're coming out with. It's called Kill Order. And it'll be tested out in the beta this weekend.
We saw a little gameplay of that in the beginning. It was like one of the first modes they hopped into.
Yeah. I mean, you let's Deception. You want to go into a little bit of a description of like this new mode. I'm kind of blanking. It's been like a while since I watched.
Kill Order is the mode where you have somebody designated as the high value target, and
or HVT.
They get extra bonuses, like they get armor plates, they can have extra perks and stuff like that. But if you kill the HVT, then that essentially is how you win the mode.
Yeah. So that's gonna be like, it's gonna be. I mean, it's been a while. Like, it's like a ultimate kill confirmed kind of thing. Like you get assigned like a, it gets assigned to like the best.
It's kind of like there was a mode called Knockout in MW2, which was kind of the same thing, but I assume this is going to be a little bit different. I think this will have better execution than Knockout, because Knockout was kind of just, it wasn't really different.
Yeah. That's understandable. And then they're also bringing back, so they kind of gave us like some of the perks. They didn't really give us a lot of the names. We got a little emblems, so we can do a little bit of
on Treyarch's, I think on Treyarch's account they shared it. Either that or it's on Charlie Intel. I saw it somewhere where it has all the names on them. Mm-hmm. But basically, what they tried to do with the perks, especially for Warzone, is they took, there's 18 perks and there's 5 new perks that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what they tried to do with some of these perks, they didn't do it with all of them, but they noticed that there were a lot of underused perks in multiplayer and Warzone. And what they did was they combined a lot of those underused perks to make a perk that hopefully sees more game time.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty smart though. I mean, what's the point of having a perk in there that doesn't get used a lot? So, looks like there's gonna be three different categories, I guess, of perks. There's the red one, the blue one, and the green one. I mean, I think we'll get more information on that either later in the podcast as we scroll through this information, or later on. And then
they're going back to the 3 perk system instead of having 4 perks / equipment or whatever you want to call them, gear in Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah. So I'm
going back to the good old 3 perk system. Although there are wild cards returning, so it wouldn't surprise me if they have like somewhere it's like perk agreed or perk gluttony, where it's like maybe you can take an extra perk in a certain slot, or maybe you can fill every slot with the same slot of perk. We'll say.
I don't know. But and then there's 3 combat specialties. Oh, but we go into more detail about those later. So then the legend returns.
I'm back.
Oh yeah, Mr. Replacer.
Yeah, so they're bringing back Mr. Replacer.
That's gonna be awesome.
To continue on the storyline, of the Black Ops, series.
There might not be many skins I buy in that game, but I think I'll probably buy the Replacer skin when he comes out.
Yeah, they're probably gonna kill it too.
I said this when we were watching it. I don't know if this will happen in Warzone. I hope it does. But back in Blackout, if you had the Replacer skin, it would switch any car you hopped into to his car, and it was awesome.
Yeah, so, I mean, hopefully they have, like, similar thing. This is more about the maps. This is the button press thing that Deception was talking about earlier.
Yeah, they made it to where if you really want to, you can do all that with no button presses.
Yeah.
You can literally just hold the sprint button and just do it, and it does it for you. I don't know how much use that's going to get. I didn't see a lot of people utilizing it from what I could tell, but
I think it'll be more like, I think it's going to be more like new player friendly. Oh, Shotty is home.
Yeah, I don't really see it being that interesting for a lot of better players. Like people who are more skilled, I mean, granted, it probably would, in theory, it feels nice because you're not burning your controller up as much. But at the same time, you don't have that freedom to kind of do whatever you want. And like, I'm sure there will be gunfights where people will try it and they'll mantle in the middle of the gunfight and die, and they're like, "Oh, I hate this. I'm not using it anymore."
Hold on 1 second. Is it? Alright, we're back. Rich just got home, so Omni movement, the button presses. So I'm guessing like new players will have a better time with this than more experienced players.
I'm sure a lot of like more casual players are probably like, oh, like I'm having a lot of fun with this auto mantling, and like a lot of the better players are like, what? Auto mantling? I don't use that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's more like user friendly. I mean, the more experience you get at the game, the more in control of your movements you probably want to be. I'm personally not going to use it. just because I do like to be in control by movement. But if you're a new
Yeah, I
player
mean,
and you're
like
like,
I said, it's gonna be a case where better players will probably try it, just see how it feels. But I guarantee you, there will be like one gunfight where they're like in a room and they accidentally mantle on something and they lose the gunfight and they're like, I'm turning this off.
yep, that's probably how it's gonna be. So the training course will be available in open beta as well. So if you want to give an Omni movement a try before like going against other people, just kind of get a feel of it as something that you can do. There's gonna be the vault operators are looking amazing. Like all the skins in the different
All that
operators and
stuff you
stuff.
can use in the beta, by the way.
Yes.
If you
Uh,
bought the Vault Edition, which I did, you can use all of this in the beta. I can run around as Brutus in the beta and just kill people.
Yeah, and looks like there's a baseball bat too. I mean, like there's a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
stuff in this game.
that's an important thing about this game is this game has a primary, secondary, and a dedicated melee slot.
Yes. So those
So
of
you can always have a melee weapon. You don't have to worry about punching somebody with the butt or the gun or whatever.
Yeah. So
You
those of
have a
you
dedicated melee slot.
Yeah, those of you that love melee weapons like myself, you're gonna be in for a good time for sure.
There's an interesting thing that I'll bring up when we get to Warzone about the dedicated melee slot.
So there's gonna be HUD presets. So you can customize your HUD screen. So like if you want to change your mini map, you can move it into different positions, and you can do presets too. So say you want to try something out, but you don't remember how you got there. So reverting back to what you had before, it's like whatever, you have a preset that you can do to change it up. And say, like even like with a mini map, like if you don't like the mini map on the left hand side of the screen, you can move it to the top right. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can make it square, circular.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different things you can do this.
Yeah, there's so many different. I mean, they're all preset, but I feel like they've touched on about every different HUD option you would want.
Yeah, so
And I'm sure they'll add more over time because they seem to really be investing in this. This is something that they touched on a lot. They're in the gameplay because we were watching a bunch of people that had changed their HUDs. Like there was one guy who was running the one where the mini map is at the bottom.
Yep.
Which is really good, especially for like this is one of the things for. It won't apply to most people as much as it applies to me, but for people that need these kind of accessibility improvements, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because you can bet I'm going to be trying all these different combinations and seeing what works.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and even if you just like want to try it out for funsies, like even if you don't.
They even have one for like they said I don't know if they have it like I guess we'll figure out which one it is because I don't know if they have it like listed or labeled as an option, but like they said they even have one for streamers that gives them a perfect spot to put their webcam.
Oh shit. That's nice. I mean, I'll be using that for sure. Deception not so much until he does his face reveal. Who knows when that'll be though.
I'll just use the meme cam.
Yeah. Listen, man, that's one hell of a meme. So that's really cool. I really like that they added that in there. There's clips of Shotzi going off. He was killing it from the get-go.
Shotzi was slamming even from the beginning.
Yeah. So one cool thing that they're bringing a lot of new stuff to this game that has never been seen in Call of Duty before. One of those things is 12 brand new weapons to the franchise that have never.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at them. It's like there was like an M16 LMG looking thing.
Yeah.
There's a Jackal PDW that looks like a mix of a SOG and a 74U. There's that bolt action sniper that looks kind of like a bolt action Dragunov. Like there's all kinds of like interesting guns that are being added.
Yeah. So and there's 12. It looks like there's 12 off rip, and then there's gonna be more later, like more new weapons added on as season goes on. So it looks like they're kind of getting really creative with some of these weapons, holding to the 90s esque vibe. Of which the game is set in.
I'm really interested in that Ames 85 because everybody said it was good and it looks like a mix of the Galil and the Krieg, and that sounds like a fantastic gun.
So there'll be new weapons for you to try out, new names to learn, and it'll be really interesting. It's been a while since we've seen that many new weapons added to the franchise. Everyone's just like, oh, this is the whatever from whatever game. These never been used before.
Guns. Especially with the Modern Warfare games, it seems like every year we just get guns we've always seen. There's not really anything new or unique in the games.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a focal point of all the Treyarch games. I feel like is they always add some new guns that are just different.
Oh yeah.
And it's cool that we're getting so many new guns tacked on to the already stacked roster of guns. Because I've heard like, the XM4s in the game. There's an AK-47 in the game.
MP5.
The SWAT 5.56 from Black Ops 2 is in the game.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
the
yeah.
MP5's in the game. The iron sights on the MP5 are so clean.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's like the LR762, which I don't know if it's one of the new guns or not, but it looks sort of like an L96. Like, there's a lot of really cool and nostalgic guns that you'll see, and you'll be like, I know this gun. But there's also a bunch of new guns, and you're like, whoa, what is this now?
Yeah. So it's very exciting. And then the cool thing about the snipers, it's going to be one shot from the chest up. So all these snipers.
Yeah, that's something that they wanted to unify. They said that they made a bunch of balance changes, and they haven't. I assume they'll tell more at launch, but like they said, they made a bunch more balance changes to try to unify the weapon classes, so it's not like one gun is OP.
And
And one of the ones they noted in the very beginning is that they said that all sniper rifles, regardless of how good the fire rate is, how much damage damage they're supposed to do, like how mobile or immobile they are, like what their purpose is, they're all one shot from the chest up. Doesn't matter. No attachments or anything are going to change that. So you're not ever going to have to worry about, oh, this sniper's fast, but it's a hit marker machine, or like, oh, this sniper kills really well, but it's so heavy I can't run around with it.
Yeah. So and the thing is like, when that was first well, oh my god, if I could speak English. When that was first mentioned, I was a little worried about it because that's a big problem that's kind of happened before that they kind of like tune out after the beta, is these when with the snipers being too quote unquote OP. But after seeing
especially Cold War.
Yeah, but
Cold War straight up felt like MW2 sniping.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane how
Yeah.
good the snipers were.
But after actually seeing it in action, though, it seemed like like people are still getting hit markers because of this omni movement, that made it harder to hit. So I mean,
the omni movement is gonna, if you can pay the price as a sniper if you miss
yes,
on somebody that's good with the movement.
yeah. So I mean, I think it they balance each other out, the omni movement and the hit register and the one shot area on the player. So I think it's a good balance that we got going on here. So this is talking about the balance of the weapons and the kind of like the attachments.
they said multiple times when they were talking about guns that the attachments are streamlined, which I think is really good. They also said that they're minimizing the downsides. Like, they said most of the weapon attachments don't even have downsides, which I think is fantastic.
I think so too.
In the Modern Warfare games, not so much MW3. MW3 did a pretty okay job with it, but especially MW19 and MW2, it felt like everything had a downside.
Yep.
Like, even the red dot sights had a downside, and I'm like, why does everything have to have a downside?
Exactly.
The attachments are supposed to help you.
Yeah.
And it felt like 90% of the attachments hurt you.
So the fact that they're changing that is very good, and it's kind of bring us back a little bit. I feel like they're kind of getting rid of a lot of like
people more excited to run different loadouts too, because like a lot of the time in the Modern Warfare games, it was like, let's run as many attachments that don't have any downsides, even if they're not that great, so that we don't hurt the gun. And now it's like, oh, attachments don't have that many downsides. I'll just run whatever.
Yep.
The build diversity is going to be fun in this game, I think.
Yeah. Not every single time you load into a match and you're like, oh shit, I got a new gun. What's the class that I use for it? Like those loadout YouTubers are gonna have a rough time with this. They're gonna have to make builds for specific needs within a gun, like gameplay style. They're gonna have to get a little bit more specific than just the gun itself, which I think will be good.
Oh yeah.
I think that'll be good.
Speaking of that, they have global weapon builds. So like, if you make a build for a gun in multiplayer, you don't have to worry about going zombies and putting all your attachments on and all that. That gun, like, if you select the gun by default, whatever the first class you make is the global class for the gun. So like, if I go in multiplayer and build a gun as I'm leveling it, and then I go in Warzone, whatever attachments I had on the gun in multiplayer are gonna be applied in Warzone.
Yeah, so that I think that's really cool because I hate having to do that where you like go into multiplayer, you test out like the gun, you get attacked,
Especially in the
and you're like,
beginning of the game, bro.
yeah,
Like, cause like you level up all these attachments in multiplayer, and then you have to sit here and create like 10 loadouts in Warzone and sit here and just go through it for like 10, 15 minutes, and I'm like, bro. So now it's gonna be fun. I'll just be like, oh, I think this is gonna be good. Boom, attachments are on it. We're good.
yeah, I'm really excited for all the things that all the changes that they're making or all the reverts anyway. The global weapon builds, we just talked about that.
That was close.
Rich just tried to throw a thing in my mouth and missed. Not by much.
Hey guys. Hey shardies.
Rich says okay.
Oh yeah,
Chat's
the
outside.
camos, dude. I lost it when I saw the dark matter. Did you get to see this?
I did not.
Look at it.
That's me.
It's a BO3 dark matter.
That
bro.
is those camos are sick. Those camos are really
It's
sick.
BO3 dark matter.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to grind for those. Maybe I'll actually finish it this year. I say that every year, but you know, whatever. I really do like the Vault Edition weapons with like that eyeball.
Oh yeah, dude. All of these are sort of like. I mean, you like. All of these are sort of zombies centric guns. They look like guns that probably would be used in zombies,
Mhm.
and that's what I. That's why I bought the Vault Edition, is because I love that they like went all in on making it like zombies. And it, well, we'll see that in a bit when we start talking about zombies. But it seems like they're going all in on zombies in general.
Yeah, which is great because they haven't really done that ever, or at least any of the recent ones. And then
They know that everybody loves zombies. They know that Treyarch is the Treyarch of the zombies people.
Yep. Which I mean, I'm not complaining personally. And
Treyarch
then
has always made the best zombies maps. So
one big thing that they kind of like talked about today was that Prestige Master is back. You're gonna have
classic prestige.
Yep. So you're gonna have prestige emblems for each one. They showed us the prestige one emblem, and these are gonna be different emblems from previous games within the Black Ops series. Like this is from the World at War Zombies, which is sick. That's the first ever Call of Duty I ever played was World at War Zombies. To see that in the game is really cool for me personally.
Yeah, and they said every prestige, which they only showed prestige 1, and we know what prestige master looks like. But
Yeah.
they said every prestige is based off of a different Black Ops game. So I'm very intrigued to see what they use for the rest of them, because they've
Me
got
too.
10 of them.
Yep. It's gonna be something that it's gonna be really cool to see. Then they're also going to have 100%er calling cards. These calling cards are sick, especially the zombies one. I just love how
I think
like
it's always one of the
the
best, bro.
brains just out on the wall and like with the 100%, like that's
I
just
think
sick
the
to
zombies
me.
one is the best, and I'm
Oh, yeah.
definitely going for that. I've gotten 100%er in every zombies game that's had achievements. So since BO3, I'm definitely doing 100%er on this
Oh
one.
yeah, this is gonna be a good one to do it on for sure. Dark Ops challenges are back, so that's gonna be interesting. I mean, I'm hoping that there's a few classics on there, but also some new ones on there for
I hope they don't data mine it, because like they didn't do it in BO3, because Dark Ops wasn't a thing, so they had zero idea what they were looking for. But in Cold War, they data mined all the Dark Ops challenges before it came out, and I was like, dude.
Yeah, I hope
Like,
they don't do that
I
again.
want to. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's definitely going to be one for prestiging the first time. I don't know if there will be one for Prestige Master or not, but there will probably be one for prestiging once. There will probably be one for completing the Easter eggs, because they usually get thrown in the Dark Ops challenges. Other than that, I have no idea. I mean,
that's usually a good thing though.
I think that it would be awesome, personally, as somebody who likes high rounds, if they gave you a Dark Ops challenge for getting to round 100 on each map.
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
I think so too. I mean, I think that like these are gonna be, I would like for them to have some classic ones, but I would like for them to also have some ones that we've never had before as these challenges. So
yeah, I know there will probably be one for getting a nuke in multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
Which getting a nuke is a thing. There's an actual nuke in the game.
Oh,
I
hell
saw
yeah.
somebody drop one.
Nice. Also something very exciting that they really don't do, and hopefully it doesn't get postponed. But they announced that multiplayer ranks play is arriving in season 1.
This
That's
is
like
the earliest we've ever heard about ranked play. We usually don't even hear a word about it till after the game's launched.
yeah. So the fact that we're hearing about it this early is very promising. So those of you that love playing rank play, love grinding rank play, you're in luck because it's starting sooner this time around.
I'm excited.
Beta stuff.
I definitely want to try ranked in this game.
Stuff.
It'll be hard to get me off zombies, but you know.
Oh, it was Hazardous that dropped a nuke.
That's the
Alright.
first nuke.
Yeah.
I low-key like didn't even know that was a thing because previously before Cold War there was the nuclear emblems, but you never dropped an actual nuke. So like I think the first thought in Treyarch games is like, oh, there's not gonna be a nuke. It's fine, we'll just look over that. But like they have a nuke in this game.
Nice. That's what you like to see. So now we're kind of moving into the zombie stuff. So
yeah, we already got Terminus gameplay, so they blessed us with Liberty Falls at the event, and people actually played it. Like it wasn't even like the thing about zombies and why I said that I love that they're going all in on zombies. You have to think about it. In the past games, we've heard nothing about zombies until like a month or less from launch.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll hear a little bit, but they won't show gameplay. They might give us a trailer, maybe not even that. But like, not only have we seen 17 minutes of Terminus gameplay and gotten numerous trailers before CODNext, we got to see Liberty Falls gameplay and people played it for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and you know they're implementing zip lines into zombies for the first time, other than like like Outbreak, but like they're implementing into round-based zombies, and it's like just from the gameplay alone that we've seen, I feel like it's gonna be a very good experience. They had like a life-size.
It's gonna help map traversal a lot.
Yeah. They
It's
had
gonna
like
make the maps way easier to get around.
yeah, they show like in the trailer that we're watching right now, they show like one of the traps, which is like the superhero
Yeah, dude, that chick
shows.
is a trap. She is like, I had no idea what she did because I saw the laser eyes. And I saw somebody using it standing on a table, just watching her decimate the zombies.
Yeah.
I was like, this is an
That's
awesome trap
sick.
idea.
That's sick. It's so like different from like normal traps, which I really like.
I like that they're implementing traps too, because that wasn't really a thing in Cold War. There weren't a lot of traps. There were some, but like traps used to be
Pretty
like
basic.
Traps used to be integral to zombies.
Yeah.
Like traps used to be the fastest way to get to round 100 on a lot of maps.
But they
And
weren't
we
like
went
super
from that
creative
to like
though.
Cold War not really having any
I'm gonna go shower 'cause I
traps.
stink. Love you.
So I like
Bye,
that there's
guys.
traps. I hope that they invest more in the traps and that we don't just see like one or two and that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Or like the first couple maps have traps and the rest of them don't really have
Well,
traps.
it
Like I hope
said-
traps are like a serious part of the game.
yeah, well, it said in the, like they tweeted out said much like Wonder Weapons, each map has unique traps. So I think that's really
Yeah,
cool.
that's great.
Etherella trap is what that one's called that we saw.
Wonder Weapons are going to be very interesting because they said that each map throughout the year is going to have its own unique Wonder Weapon.
Yeah,
And
so this one is the
we saw-
Thrustodone M23 is the first one for Liberty Falls.
yeah, we saw this is going to be the jet gun that we always wanted.
Yeah, it just
The jet
freaking
gun
like
that doesn't break.
look, it just like shreds them. It's like they're going right into a turbine.
You can pull them into the jet gun, or it now has a secondary ability where you can blast a shot
Yeah.
to kill them all.
That is, and you can collect like it looks like there's scrap in this, and
Yeah,
you can use it to collect that too, which is really cool.
yeah, you can collect like salvage. You can collect equipment, power ups. You have to watch out for the gun overheating, but thank goodness it doesn't break like it did in
Yeah.
Transit.
So, and then they're also adding in Melee Macchiato perk, which you are able to supercharge your dedicated melee option with this perk. And from the looks of it, it's pretty freaking powerful. Like with the punch, you can just like freaking shove a zombie like, I don't know, a few yards back and kill
I
them.
assume, I don't know if this will be, which there are going to be augments and zombies. There's over 100 of them coming to launch. We
Mhm.
don't really know a lot about those. But I assume, if not by default, that an augment will make Melee Macchiato one-shot infinitely.
Mm-hmm.
It seems a lot like the Ethereal Razor perk from BO4. Because Ethereal Razor gave you a special glowing white knife that would let you one-shot infinitely.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if that becomes a thing with Melee Macchiato, whether you have to do it through augments or if it's by default.
What else? Let's some clips. So
I'm interested to see if the Wonder Waff is in Liberty Falls because in
maybe.
the cinematic you see Rick Tuffin grab one.
Maybe.
I just wonder if it's in there.
Maybe.
They also put up you can buy a replica Wonder Waff.
Mhm.
It's like $350. They also are giving them away.
Ooh, interesting.
But they put up a replica Wonder Waff in the shop.
So there's some things that they're adding for like they're calling them quality of life improvements for the zombies. So there's gonna be a save and quit option for solo matches. So there's you that like to go for high rounds like Deception, and you're like, damn.
Save and quit is gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, so there's that option. You can join a friend's match in progress at any time, even if you disconnect. You can pause solo matches, which I love when you can
Joining
do that.
friends at any time is going to be great for high rounds too, because there used to be a thing where if you disconnected, you couldn't join until the start of the next round. And even then, sometimes it didn't always work. So I'm glad that they've implemented that for some of the high round players. Because I remember like when Cold War came out, there was these 4 guys that got to round 600 on D Machine. They had the world record for high rounds for the longest time on that map because they did it like that. And they had a couple times where people would disconnect and it got a little hairy, but I'm glad that they've optimized that a little bit.
Was that the one group of guys where like the one guy's like PlayStation like shit on him, and then he like ran to the store and bought a new one?
Yeah, he was
day.
he was in the military and he was stationed in Italy and his PlayStation died. So he went to the store and bought another one.
Yeah. I mean the dedication, man, the dedication. So there's that. So additional updates, door costs can now be shared between players, which is great because then you don't have to like be like, hey, like I'll get the store. You can share it. Armor can be purchased off wall buys around Terminus Island and Liberty Falls.
It costs a lot. I saw somebody walk up to a purple armor wall buy and it was 14,000. And I was like, oh my lord.
I mean that makes sense though. I mean I feel like they might.
I think
like,
it's a good trade-off.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the armor costing that much makes one of the things I really like about the older zombies games is you have to decide.
Yeah.
Like what you're going to use your points on instead of just having so many points that you're like, I don't know what to do with all this.
Yeah.
And I think that's great because like now you're sitting here, you could be on like round 15 and have like 15k points, and you're like, do I pack a punch a second time or do I grab more
armor? It's like it's great. I love that. Player specific drops and then self revives limited to 3.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be insane. Player specific drops. I'm pretty sure there have been player specific drops in the past, like the zombie points and death machine used to always be player specific. But I'm pretty sure that every perk in this game is every drop in this game is player specific. I'm pretty sure.
Nice. I like that too. And like the sweepstakes, whatever. The mastery camos. So there's opal. Wait, actually, hold on. Let me go back. All right, there's mystic gold, which looks like a topographic gold. Opal, which is the diamond, one, and then the mastery camo is afterlife, and the afterlife camo looks sick.
Dude, the afterlife camo is almost the same as the one we got from Black Ops 2. I love it. I think that looks awesome. And you have Nebula, which looks very similar to the Borealis camo from MW3, which I also think is awesome.
But it looks like it's reactive too, though. It looks like when
they
you
are
shoot,
taking. If you notice, the Nebula camo might look familiar, and so does the gold spine camo or the dark spine camo in multiplayer. That's because if nobody has pointed it out yet, those 2 camos in specific are from BO4. They were Mastercraft camos in BO4, and now they are camos in this game.
Oh, hell yeah. What? Nice stuff, nice stuff. Alright, and then now we're into Warzone stuff to kind of like end off the podcast here. So the map for Warzone is going to be Area 99. So here's a video kind of like going over like the POIs.
Yeah, this map actually, I don't know if any Warzone map has actually had like an in-depth story to it.
Yeah.
But this map is based off the history of Nuketown.
Yeah.
That
So
this map is where Nuketown was conceptualized, and they're showing you how Nuketown was made.
Yep. So we're just gonna kind of like I'm just gonna kind of like talk. Just gonna kind of read off the names here of these POIs. So we have Pod Dormitory, which looks like a pretty weapon testing. It looks like there's a turret there as well. Mannequin Assembly.
Mannequin assembly is going to be funny because there's like mannequins everywhere on the ground.
Yeah.
You're just running over mannequins.
Nuclear Reactor, House Factory, Nuketown Shipping. So that's kind of where the Nuketown
the
is.
cool thing about House Factory and Nuketown shipping is there's like places where like the houses are like not finished, or like there's some places where like the houses are floating up on cranes and it's just a Nuketown house just floating in the air.
Yeah, so I mean, and so it's kind of like a whole map based off of the Nuketown, like the staple pretty much of Black Ops games. So here's one of the floating houses that Deception was talking about. So I'm sure we're gonna be able to get up there some
I saw
way.
somebody up there. It was pretty cool.
Mm.
I saw somebody get up there and I was like, wow, this is awesome.
So there's gonna be test site, which kind of looks like a firing range Nuketown mix. There's elevators. It looks like there's a bunker.
Yeah, you can go way down in those bunkers.
Mm-hmm. So, and
there's probably a lot of interesting routes you can take through those bunkers there.
So with the reactor, it looks like a reactor. I mean, it's probably like a Chernobyl kind of thing, being like, this is why.
The nuclear reactor, there's like I don't know if they put a TAC map on COD's page or not, but they showed a TAC map of it, and it's literally the reactor's the middle of the map.
Nice.
And they said that this map is similar in size to Rebirth. It is a resurgence map.
Good.
But on the TAC map, it looks rather tiny to me.
Yeah, so...
I mean, obviously it might play differently, and I didn't really watch enough, and I haven't obviously played it, so I can't tell you definitively how it feels. But at least from the TAC map and from the way it felt like the gameplay was, I felt like it was more hectic than Rebirth.
Yeah, so going back to this part, so manufacturing, it's kind of where they're building all the houses and everything. But if you notice also, like in a few seconds, they're going to show like a little diorama, which is the original Nuketown town. And like the sign from Nuketown is going to be in this part of the map as well. See, there's the original sign from Nuketown. And then right here is a little diorama of the original map. I mean, you can...
I really hope that on that sign, the population changes based on how many people are left.
Oh, that would be nice.
That'd be awesome.
And so here's the mannequin assembly for, the mannequins. Looks like there's a bunch of dismantled ones on the assembly line.
Oh yeah, there's mannequins everywhere in that room.
Yeah, look, it's like some like Monsters Inc. type transportation there with them. Hydraulic press. Then here's a look at pods. Looks like this is like a living situation.
Looks a lot like there's a multiplayer map. A lot of people don't remember this because it was so late. But there was a DLC map in Black Ops 2 called Pod that basically was the exact same as what you're looking at right now.
I mean, that's probably
like the actual
their source
pods,
material
like
for
the
it.
houses. They looked exactly like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just straight ripped that map and put it in there.
Yeah, so here's like an overview kind of look. So it looks like, there's reactor, there's pods. It looks like that's manufacturing maybe. But I mean, it's a pretty decent sized map. I like it a lot. I think it's gonna be a very fun play.
It's gonna be fun. I'm actually excited for this. And with like all the new stuff they're putting in Warzone, like we're gonna have Omni movement. Like they're bringing back the Warzone backpack from original Warzone instead of the weird system they have now.
Oh, thank God. I mean,
like it's gonna be great.
What? So there's that. Here's a little bit of here's the actual overview that Deception was talking about. So reactor, bunker, test site, mannequin assembly, cooling towers, Nuketown shipping, loading bay, warehouse, and pods. So,
yeah, they're on the actual attack map in game. There are more POIs than that. It's broken down a little bit more, but those are the main ones.
Yeah, so these are the main POIs.
Those are the big POIs, but I know on the attack map they're broken into smaller sections.
Maybe it'll show up here, but this is kind of like the overview of the map. It looks like a pretty decent. It's like a good sized map for like the way I like to play. And then there's a road that kind of goes all the way around it, and then through it, so that'll make good for like car travel as well. Birthplace of Nuketown. The main source. So like there's a whole like storyline that goes with it as well, which I really like.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that we get lore with the Warzone map.
Yeah, so this is kind of like so there was a world record broken. It was a 20-foot 3-inch. It's the largest marionette of a video game character. This is Abby.
Oh yeah, because they made an abomination.
Yeah, a mega abomination. Look at how big that is. That's huge. That's so cool. So, go Call of Duty for getting a world record. More stuff about.
Dude, it lights up and everything, bro.
Yeah. More stuff about the map. We're getting some gameplay. Mystery box has a chopper. So it looks like there's a mystery box in. So this is I think this is zombies. So there's a chopper gunner in the mystery box. Looks like we're getting mystery box score streaks, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, we had those in Cold War. You could. I mean, that wasn't the best way to get them because you could just craft them, but it still works the same.
Yeah.
There's actually one of the coolest things in zombies is you can craft it, or there's a chance for them to drop them if you kill them. But you can get a mangler cannon, and you can like shoot it at the zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also there's like an injector that you can get. I don't know where you get it or if it drops randomly. There's an injector that you can get where you can just straight up turn yourself into the full-blown mangler and just like run around and just decimate all the zombies.
I'm down for that.
I think it'll be so fun. Like I cannot wait to use that and turn into a mangler and fight a mangler with it.
That'd be pretty sick. Mangler and mangler violence. So here's a kind of look at the wild cards. We've got Overkill and Gunfighter confirmed.
I guarantee you there's going to be a bunch of them that has to do with perks.
So for those of you that aren't familiar, Overkill is equipped 2 primary weapons, and Gunfighter is equipped 3 extra attachments to your primary weapon.
It's just like Cold War, we'll be able to have 8 attachments on our guns.
So there's going to be some new loot and chests for Warzone. Introduced to Ground Loot Season 1. Back. Yep. So there's going to be perks to experiment with these new and updated perks to adapt to fight ahead. So there's going to be Veteran, Alertness, Bomb Squad, Grenadier, Dexterity, Tracker, Cold Blood, Tempered, and more.
Tracker and Tempered are going to be 2 that everybody goes for.
So, and then there's going to be Warzone Mastery camos.
Yep.
Which I think is like the first time we've ever had Warzone Mastery camos. So the first one is Gold Tiger. And then there's King's Ransom, which is the diamond one, which has a bunch of different, gems on it. And then Catalyst, which looks pretty sick, I'm not going to lie. And then Abyss will be the final camo. And that one I do like a lot. And it's also reactive, so when you shoot it, you can see those blue kind of cracks taking over. I like when the guns do that. And it gives
there's been some guns that have done that before that I really like. Like there was in season 1 of MW3 in the Battle Pass, there were guns where they were like the barrels were like super heated, and like the longer you shot them, the barrel would heat up and just glow orange. Yeah. Those were really cool.
So I think that was kind of testing for this because these look really sick.
Also, like one of the other ones that had like an animation like that reacted with what you were doing is there was a really cool gun in Infinite Warfare that had this camo that started off all white, but the more kills you got, the more bloody it got, and it eventually just got filled with blood.
They're also bringing back unlock tokens, so when you prestige, for those of you that don't remember, or if you didn't play Call of Duty at the time, when you prestige, you get an unlock token. You can permanently unlock something. So when you prestige, you don't lose that weapon. I recommend using it on the higher level weapons, like the weapons you get at level 40s, 30s, 40s, that kind of area, or even 50 for that matter. And then for Warzone, inventory we were talking about this earlier. Inventory management is back to the basics. Which is really nice because It was just getting very complicated there. But I like that it's back to the basics for that one. So there's lootable armor and munition satchels. So those look really cool. Just give you a closer look up at those. This is my first time seeing this information as well. Tac sprint forever, unlimited tac sprint. That's great.
Yeah, as long as that's the cool thing about the dedicated melee slot in Warzone is as long as you have your melee out, you can tac sprint forever.
And then there's going to be ranked play season 1 as well for Warzone, for Urzikstan. Then Verdansk will be returning to Warzone in 2025, which personally, that is a big thing for me. I'm really excited about that. I love Verdansk. And it's just like a lot of people do. It's the original map of the Warzone series. So, like, of course, you know, sprays and emotes are returning, which I personally love. It makes the game a little bit more interactable, a little bit more personable. Use that to shit talk. Oh, 9. Like, look at that. Like, that is just sick. Like, that's some sick things to be able to spray. So, what else? Weapons now have rarity outlines to help players better evaluate the options at their disposal throughout the match. So you can see if you're getting a better gun or not. That's something that's back. So dedicated, when you switch to your dedicated melee weapon, that enables the infinite tac sprint. So you can just run. You can just run as much as your heart contents.
That's gonna be great for just map traversal. Like, that's gonna feel fantastic.
Yeah.
There are a lot of times if you don't have double time, or even if you have double time and you're just carrying a gun that might be a little bit slower, it's like it just feels like it takes forever sometimes for you to go around the map. And like being able to unlimited tac sprint with a dedicated melee, which is going to be faster than carrying a gun anyway, is just going to be fantastic.
Yep. So, I mean, that's, you know, pretty awesome. I mean, that's pretty much the conclusion of all the main Call of Duty stuff. They go and talk about Call of Duty Mobile a little bit more. Omni Movement's coming to that, a few of the packs that are coming.
Omni Movement and Mobile will be...
That's going to be interesting.
Well, okay, the interesting part, and I heard this because I was watching, Drifter made a video, and he said that he talked to some people that played it, and everybody that played at the Black Ops 6, like, event, like, he talked to some people, and they were like, I tried playing keyboard and mouse, but I switched to controller because Omni Movement feels better on controller. And I'm like, if they feel that way about the difference between keyboard and mouse and controller, I feel like the people on mobile are just gonna struggle with Omni Movement.
Yeah, I mean, they already struggle with movement already. I feel like.
I feel like you won't see many people Omni. I feel like it's like the easiest indicator in the world that somebody's using a controller if they're Omni Movementing on mobile.
So that's cool. We're not gonna go quite into mobile a lot, just because I don't really play. We don't really talk about it. And right now, I think there's the Endowment Bowl.
Oh yeah, they ran that. They had that going. I don't know if it's still going right now or not, but they were running it.
But so that's gonna kind of do it for us today. It was a bit of a, we made it over an hour today, which recently we haven't been able to do, but there was a lot of information to talk about. That's kind of why we dedicated the whole episode to it. So if you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure you guys like the video if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Tony_Scorp and Deception276. We stream this live every Wednesday, usually at 12 p.m. today. COD took our spot, obviously. But we appreciate you guys being here if you were here live. We appreciate you guys watching if you're watching later on. But yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Watch some of the older episodes. We're almost at 100, 15 episodes away. We're getting there. It's a big achievement. Not a lot of podcasts get to episode 100. So the fact that we're going to get there is crazy to me, honestly. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Deception. Say bye.
Bye.
And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.